So I wanted to give you also a quick tutorial or just a quick introduction to some of the resume resources that we have at UW-Oshkosh. If you are looking for some opportunities to update your resume, we have a couple of things that I would recommend. One is coming to the UW-Oshkosh Career and Professional Development webpage. And then if you click on Student Resources, that will take you to our page where we have a lot of really good information, resumes, if you're looking for cover letter examples, interviewing tips, salary negotiation, all of those sorts of things you can find here on the resources page. But I want to take you to the resume samples page. On the resume samples page, you'll see some really good resources here. One of them being we have some specific nursing resume options. One of them being this Nathan Nurse version. And I'll kind of show this to you and give you some insight here. Something that I do recommend with accelerated nursing students is to consider creating a new resume. So many of you are coming from sort of different backgrounds. You're bringing with you different degrees, and maybe you have some other experiences that maybe parallel or maybe don't parallel with healthcare. And what you want to do now is make sure that the resume that you're sending out certainly showcases the experience that you're going to have in the accelerated program, and that will help qualify you for future nursing positions. So, I do recommend to students start a new version because sometimes it's difficult to combine your two experiences together. Now, I'm not saying that you're not going to include any of that information, but it might look different. So here's a good example, this Nathan Nurse version. This version looks like something that you would have maybe toward the end of your program. So, as you're starting the program, this might be something that you'll be working towards over the next year or so. So just looking at, obviously, adding your information, adding your two different degree experiences, what certifications, licensures, or skills that you might have or will be gaining. We certainly encourage you to start adding your clinical experiences as you get into your different clinical portions of the program. And we do recommend, trying to identify how each experience differs from the last. And so we want to kind of capitalize on the new skills that you're gaining in the different parts of the program. So starting to think about how you want to add those clinical experiences will be something that you'll want to do. Now, some of you may have related healthcare experience. We've had a lot of students who've done CNA experiences, who've been dietary or nutritional professionals. We've had people who have had just other healthcare experiences that they want to kind of showcase, so there's an opportunity to do that. Or even just other work experience. A lot of times, there will be experiences that give you transferable skills, and so we want to make sure that you have the opportunity to showcase some of those skills or abilities. So you might add a work experience section where you're adding some other details of the things that you've done in the past. If you have other extracurriculars, if you have honors or activities, volunteer things that you're involved in, you definitely want to start thinking about adding those types of things as well to your resume. There is no one right or wrong way to do a resume, so you certainly want to take into account the types of things that you want to add, and that your document is flexible enough to let you do that. I certainly recommend that you stay away from using templates. Templates really lock you into the sort of order or formatting that can be really frustrating when you're starting to make some changes to your document. So I do recommend starting a new sort of Word document to create your resume. So this Nathan Nurse version is out there for you. It's a really great option. I also want to show you, we have a version up here toward the top called Crisp Sample. So if you click on Crisp Sample, you'll see that this version is non-formatted and everything is left justified. So many of you will apply for positions through online applicant tracking systems, online websites. And many times you'll copy information from your formatted resume into those online text boxes, and then it will take that formatting with it. A lot of times that formatting will mess with, the text box, and so you spend a lot of time trying to fix those text boxes. So this version would be an additional version where maybe you keep everything. It's, if they ask you for salary, they're asking you for specific dates. Here's an example. Driver's license is on here as an example. So add some information here that will help you to fill out those online applications much quicker and help to save you some time. Again, this would be a version that you wouldn't necessarily share when you're applying for a position. It would just be something that you would utilize for those online applications. You might add a ton of information. There might be multiple pages to this version. But this version would be something, again, you could pick and choose which bullet points you use. You can pick and choose what information that you'll need to share in those online applications. So I definitely recommend taking a look at that particular example. I do get a lot of feedback from students that that's really helpful. We also have a couple of other things I want to point out really quickly. We have a Power Verbs list here. The Power Verbs list helps you build bullet points that are based on skills and abilities. And so you want to start those bullet points with those types of power verbs. Now these keywords will be helpful in terms of helping you sort of move up in the online application. So looking at that job posting and identifying what are the keywords, key skills, and making sure that your resume is rich with a lot of these or similar vocabulary words. We also have a document here called resume headings. Like I mentioned, not every resume is going to be the same. There's no right or wrong way. But there are a lot of different ways that you can demonstrate or showcase your skills. This document gives you an opportunity to showcase different things. And then also descriptive lines. Writing a bullet point or a strong bullet point can be really difficult. And so I like this particular document because it gives you some examples of well-written bullet points, things that you can sort of implement in terms of strategies to sort of beef up your resume and make it a little bit stronger. So I definitely recommend that. The other thing I recommend is this something we call Vmock. I'll click on it here quickly and I'll just explain what it is. Vmock is an opportunity where you can upload your resume and get some instant feedback. So if you don't have an opportunity to schedule an appointment with me, or you don't have the time but you want the feedback right away, you can utilize this resource and making sure that you use the login page with the UW logo on it. It's free to all students, and then what you would do is upload a PDF version of your resume. And this system will give you instant resume feedback. So it would be feedback that you'd be able to implement in your resume and make edits to. So certainly something to think about. Like I said, if you're looking for some virtual feedback on that resume, this would be a great resource for you to take a look at. If you have any questions or concerns about resumes, please reach out, schedule an appointment with me, and we can get together either through email on the phone, or I can just do email review, and I can send that back and forth with changes as we go along. So hopefully all those resources will be great for you. And like I said, please reach out if you have anything that you need.